on, Stitch Roadies? It is going to be a packed full episode today. So do your business, get yourself a drink. I might suggest a snack so you don't get lightheaded. But let's get to it, huh? I have been having an awesome week. It has been, as with most of you, life is what it is. The ups and downs, the all swirling around. Yes, this day and age, it just kind of, it is what it is, huh? That's what one of my friends always says. It is what it is. So how do we try to make our little world better? Just keep stitching, just keep stitching. Click those red ruby slippers together 3 times and just keep stitching. And hope when you click them 3 times together, you end up at acorns and threads. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So I'm feeling a little more energized because I just got back from Acorns and Threads, and it was a packed room of stitchers. It was so amazing because it really does, it just kind of, you end up feeding off the energy and the inspiration of everyone. And at the end of this episode, I'll have G insert some photographs of Margaret's stitchy box that she brought in to show. It is spectacular, just spectacular. And if you don't know what I mean by a stitchy box, it's a trend that has been just going like mad across the crafting world, and that's where you take a jewelry box and you repurpose it into a workbox specifically for whatever crafting you do. So this particular one is a pink one that was inspired by one that I saw at the Bristol retreat at the attic where Kim the Contented Stitcher had, and pink is not my normal, I gotta have that color kind of thing, but after seeing hers, I thought, sometimes you have to venture outside the box. So when you get these jewelry boxes, you kind of gut them a little bit and repurpose them into holding all the tools you might need when you're at a stitching group or retreat. And today Margaret gifted me this little needle minder that says "Hello Lovely," and then this little charm that could be used as a bling charm of some kind. Also, I traded out some, so in this box you put all the things you might need. I have needle minder, needle box, scissors. The thing I added today, I thought stroke of genius, was a nail file, because I was finding, I don't know about you, but as I have been aging, my nails get all raggedy and split and thread keeps getting hung up on them. So I included a nail file in there to kind of do a quick manicure. She had some clips, and so I had these red ones that I traded out with her for some purple ones because they looked better in my box. Yeah, at the very least, when I open this, it makes me smile. So stay tuned to the very end, because I'll have G insert photographs of Margaret's spectacular box. Her box is about 4 times bigger than that one, but you know, you need all kinds of different sizes. So like this one, I love this. this little stitch was gifted to me, and I used it on the top of this small zippered jewelry case, and this one is for my 56 count. So it's very small. Got a picture of G and our grandson, and then I have scissors and clips, and it's it's mainly to make you smile when you're stitching. Yeah. So what have you been up to? Been doing something fun? I've been doing a lot of shopping. I know. And some things I didn't even realize. But at the shop it's been there for, more than a week, a couple weeks. The full stitchy room of a cross-stitcher who went to the stitch shop over the rainbow. And her family donated all of her stuff to anybody who wanted to take home a finished, half-finished, dreamt-about project. And your first reaction is one of sadness. Your second one is, oh no, my family is going to be dealing with all of my stuff too. But I'm here to tell you, seeing the interest and the joy and discovery for different stitchers who thought, oh, this is an interesting project, or I could finish this, or I could repurpose this. I thought, no, that's good. That's good. So I no longer am going to be letting that voice enter my head about you have more than enough. As I know that has been shared across FlossTube about collecting is a craft in and all itself, and today I am proof of that. I also examined for myself what it means to be a stitcher. There's monogamous, there's free-for-all, there's process, there's finishers, and everybody is doing what brings them joy. And hopefully not listening to the voices outside your own heart. But it also made me think about, I have a fair little pile of finishes that I've never fully finished. So I spent yesterday in finish mode. And there is great satisfaction in that. There is great satisfaction. So I will share that with you in a minute. But this episode is called What the Haul for a reason. I have quite a bit of haul. And Happy Mail. I have been working. Oh, my son loved the finish of Ginny McGowan's Into the Woods from last year's Pinwith Pacific Northwest Stitch Summit. That was one of the projects that I stitched that for his birthday, and it was gifted to him a couple days ago. And I loved it because when he looked at it, he said, wow, that looks like Multnomah Falls. And I said, it is. Yay. So I've moved on to the next designated stitch, which is for my sister. And that is one that I am taking, let's see, I am taking I'm listening to Kim the Contented Stitcher in terms of what she'll take a portion of a chart or her favorite part of the chart or redo a chart in a certain way that like is comfortable for her aesthetic. And so my sister lives in wine country, and so I'm doing the bottom half of this stitch right here. And this is a Jeanette Douglas design. Absolutely lovely. And I am on the downhill slide to this one. Then I will get it framed. It's lovely. It's just lovely. So that feels good that I am just about done with that. I did start a second designated stitch because I realized that my girlfriend's birthday was coming up here in, this month, and so I chose the Scarlet House Canine Quotes. This is such an adorable pattern, which I got at Acorns and Threads. And I'm doing this on Fox and Rabbit Dune, 18 count. And that's where I'm at. And I'm going to make this into a pillow. So I'm feeling quite productive, very satisfied with my work. I also have, when I was thinking about Kim the Contented Stitcher, I took a couple of projects from the donated projects that were, they had charms, Christmas charms in them. I don't have them here with me, but I love the charms. And I know I most definitely could be using the charms. But this particular chart by Ink Circles totally cracked me up. It is fascinating to see the pile of what attracts one cross-stitcher. The wide variety of projects and designers and why you bought, you know, like there was a lot of the teddy bear things, and then there was this 99 bottles by Ink Circle, and on the back is the list of all the different beers. A total crack up, but I said I will let this live at my house because I can see where I could make ornaments, fun ornaments or tags for people with these beer bottles. But I really wish I knew her and could ask her, why 99 bottles? What were you going to do with it? Yeah. Today was Stitch Day at Acorns and Threads. It was first Thursday. We find any reason to get together. And I hope you will join us, even if you can't be there physically. Janine started a Hawk Run Hollow stitch along. Now, not everyone wants to do a whole Hawk Run Hollow, and so we came up with this extraordinary idea where we can make a box, you know, a cube out of a Hawk Run Hollow. And so that is what I am doing. This is Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow. And instead of doing the entire chart, I picked out the four that I liked. The four that I liked best. So here's the Hawk Run Hollow, Autumn at Hawk Run Hollow. And I decided since Janine and I are going to be making a cube, I need four, because I don't want one on the bottom because no one will see it anyway. And if you flip it over so they could see it, then everything around this is upside down. And then I didn't want anything on the top because I could conceivably use it as a pin cushion. So I think I'll just put pretty fabric on the top and the bottom. And the 4 that I chose are the 2 Halloween ones and the 2 Thanksgiving. And the reason being is if I make a cube out of it, that I could face the cube out in October for a Halloween decoration, and all I would have to do is to flip it the opposite way for the Thanksgiving decoration. I know, absolute genius. Sometimes I even shock myself. So I got this all ready to go, and the way I did it, because I was doing a cube, is I figured out the size, and I cut my fabric, which the fabric I am using is a 36 count. It's a 36 count, a 36 count something. But I cut the squares and, zigzag the edge of the squares so that they are all ready for, I don't have to deal with a big piece of fabric, and yeah. But as what happens with a lot of stitch group is that it is so much fun to be in the physical presence of each other and to see what everyone's doing, that this is exactly how much stitching I got done this morning. Yeah. Yeah. And I'm using one of Chris Yo's, and I'll put that link below. This is called What the Haul, because I have a lot of haul today. I have a lot of haul. And this was one of them. Isn't that adorable? So there's my floss bling from Chris. And when I went on her site to get an autumn floss bling, I saw a chart of hers that I just fell in love with. And since I met the contented stitcher Kim, and have really watched her floss tube in terms of how she approaches a particular project and whether she'll do the whole thing or do a portion or she'll change something, I look at charts totally differently. Now, I am going to do this entire chart, but the reason I bought it was because of one motif. And here you go. Here's the chart. Time flies. And you'll have to order this and read about the story that Chris tells about time flying. But it was that watch. I just had it in my mind that I could stitch that watch as a motif on so many different things that, yeah. And she explains how she created this frame. Okay, so we talked about my whips, and then we're going to move on to some haul and then some FFO. Okay. I have been wanting this particular stitch, and I know you've heard this over and over again, that pictures on charts do not do them any justice. And this one does not do it any justice. The reason I wanted it was because I actually saw the stitched sample hanging on the wall at the attic in Mesa, Arizona, and I fell in love with it. Twice when I have been there, I've wanted that chart, but they were out both times. And I'm sure it's because people see the sample and they fall in love. So Janine at Acorns and Threads ordered it for me. And I ended up finishing kitting it up today. And this is going to be a sooner than later start. Sooner than later. An STL. Sooner than later. It really doesn't do it justice. It doesn't. But it is an amazing finish when it's done. Can you tell I'm feeling autumn? Isn't that adorable? Tiny Modernist. It's so adorable. And these were charts that I placed that were not in the shop, and I placed to order, and now Janine has them in the shop. So all of a sudden everything came at once. I really have some restraint sometimes. My big toe. I knew as soon as I saw this that I was going to stitch it because it cracks me up. Quoteth the stitcher. I need more. Yeah. Definitely. And then the 2023 Gothic Halloween, because not only do we like Halloween, we like Gothic anything. And I loved the Beware pillow. But I'm pretty much probably going to stitch all of those. And then Teresa Kogut. Hey, there's a Teresa Kogut. Oh, just put it in my cart. Yes. So cute. Seaworthy. A book of 3 cross-stitch charts. So cute. And see, I can see a whole bowl full of pillows with a whale, the Little Mermaid, you know, just, but look at the sail on that boat. Is that not beautiful? Yeah. So that was my haul, except for I had such a great time at that concert with Gregory Alan Isakov that I ordered his latest CD. And yeah, they still occasionally sell CDs. It's like someone said to me, who has a CD player? I do. I have one here in the Beehive. And I have my favorite CDs. And I have quite an eclectic music collection. I've got everything from Broadway shows to Imagine Dragon to Appaloosa Bones. Yeah, I've got a little bit of everything. So that came. Also, I totally forgot that I had ordered this until it came. I ordered the 2023 Autumn Berry Club, the November, is it November Gray Squirrel Berry? Oh, that's each berry is, I have 3 autumn berries. Oh, and they each have a name to them. Okay, so we'll start with the September Forage Berry. The October Witch Berry. And the November Squirrel Berry. These, and I'll put that link below because under the woolen willow, such beautiful workmanship with anything you can get. Well, while I was there at Acorns, I ended up with a little credit on my account. So I did a little bit of shopping. I bought some needles, 28 count needles. I bought this little beeswaxer in a tin because it says bee on the front and it'll go into one of my sewing boxes. And then I totally cracked up when I saw this needle minder. Yep. If everybody could just do that, we'd all be a whole lot happier. Yeah. I finished reading The Measure, and I am here to say that I believe every single person should read this book. I know if you go check it out and you read the beginning synopsis, you kind of go, a little bit of sci-fi, I don't know about it, it doesn't sound very good. I'm not steering you wrong. Within a few pages, I was hooked, and I could not put the book down. It was absolutely gobsmackingly shocking in so many different ways. And so I recommend that book most definitely. So now I have moved on to The Soulmate, which is, it's a thriller mystery, by Sally Hepworth. And I'm enjoying it. I like a good thriller. But The Measure, you need to read that. Yeah, I won't steer you wrong there. Like I said earlier, I got kind of a bee in my bonnet yesterday. And it was really interesting because I had gone out to dinner with my older son and daughter-in-law and oldest grandson. And for whatever reason, it didn't really set well with me. And so I woke up at 3 o'clock in the morning with a headache and I couldn't sleep, so I just got up. So yesterday was like a doldrum day. And I didn't want to take a nap because then the next night's sleep would, you constantly, when you're my age, you constantly play games with yourself about sleep and wake and how much exercise and what you're going to do and what you're going to eat. You just constantly, it's all a big game show. So I thought yesterday was going to be a total waste because I was so exhausted from lack of sleep. But it turned out being an amazing day for finishing. I don't know. I just suddenly had this giant off the chart need to do some finishing. And so I shall show them to you. This stitch was gifted to me and I absolutely love it. I love the colors. And I backed it with fabric that says, that are sayings from Portland. People make fun of Portland. Portland can handle being made fun of. But these are all just different phrases that you've heard in around the Portland area. So, do you serve kombucha? When I die, I'm leaving my body to science. I liked that band before it was cool. Kale juice changed my life. This is what's printed on the fabric. I liked the book better. Is this vegan? Hashtag live authentic. Is this organic? Ice cream / barbershop. I really need to focus on my art. Where's your shirt from? It's vintage. I mean, it totally cracked me up. So, and the way I do this is that I take my stitches and I fuse Pellon SF101 on the back of them. And then on the back of the backing fabric, I fuse another piece of Pellon. And then right sides together, I sew around the edge, leaving a 1-inch hole. And then I turn it inside out till it looks like this. And I know that everybody has their favorite thing of what they want to stuff their pillows with. And it doesn't matter. It's whatever you want to stuff it with. You know, I have not found any bug issue in the areas I've lived in, so I don't worry about it. But maybe in your area you want to think about that. But just know, whatever you feel like stuffing it with, just do it. So I stuff it with shells, the crunched up shells, and then I put a little bit of polyfill so the shells don't pop out while I'm stitching it closed, and I use a ladder stitch to close it up, and then it's done. Isn't that adorable? So since I was on a roll, this is like a long time ago, but it's the perfect time of year, and I added a little pumpkin charm. And I found the perfect Teresa Kogut fabric for the back. Isn't that the coolest? And I did this exactly the same way. I used SF101 on the front and back piece, and then right sides together, sewed it, turned it inside out, and that's all she wrote. So yes, I was still exhausted, but I couldn't stop myself. It was a weird kind of thing, because even though I was really tired, I couldn't stop working on stuff. Last night I slept really good. So I got this board. It's kind of like a chalkboard. And I finished this Halloween stitch that I did in 2019. Fully finished now. Isn't that cute? And I remember when I was stitching this, that sheep is no, I mean, look at the texture of that sheep. Yeah. In 2019 I did that, and it sat in there. And the way I finished this was I fused a piece of fusible batting on the back of my piece. And then I cut a piece of poster board that size, and I folded it over and taped it with masking tape very tightly, so that we have the stitch, the batting, the poster board folded over and masking tape around. And then I squirted a whole bunch of glue all over the back of all of that, and I centered it on this board, laid it on my table, and put 2 heavy books on it and let it dry. Once it was all done, I took the string of pom-poms and I put a bead of glue just under the stitching. And then I took a needle and I stuffed the braiding that the pom-poms are attached to underneath as I went around, so that the braiding is tucked underneath the piece. But is that not, turned out pretty good, didn't it? I'm pretty proud of it. Yeah. So there you go. I forgot about 2 more things. Are you guys just exhausted? Just exhausted. I saw this on, oh, for the life of me, I can't remember who showed this. But the tiny town around one of the spools. And these spools are handcrafted. You can get them directly, and I'll put the link below. You can get them directly, or Acorns and Threads has them for sale. Hand done. But I saw someone do one of the tiny towns and wrap the spool with it, and I am going to be doing that. Because gotta have a decorated, can't have a naked spool. No. I also received a gift from a dear friend of a needle minder. Is that not beautiful? And I know that Acorns and Threads has one more available for sale there. So if you're interested, this is so beautiful. Okay, I think that's it. So we talked about books. We talked about stitching. We talked about haul. We talked about finishing. Yeah, I think we're ready. I think we're ready to call it a day and go stitch some more. So I hope that you all are doing well. The weather continues to be amazing and scary at the same time. So I hope that life is settling down for all of you. It's we're back to school, so it just seems like there's a little bit of quietness in the neighborhood, and all the grandkids are, yeah, they're busy. Thank you for stopping by. Be sure, if you're a winner of a previous giveaway, that you check back and get a hold of me. Otherwise, we'll see you next time around. Love you guys.